Nigel Pack seems to be next in the line of elite little guard shooters, potentially ones that could actually make some sort of impact in the NBA. He's just an elite shooter, like all around. Truly, truly incredible. Like the way he is able to hit from like well beyond NBA range, like into like logo territory consistently, is so great, and reminds me of another relatively little guard shooter that we have in the NBA named Damian Lillard. And obviously, this is not a comparison. I'm not comparing these two as prospects. Lillard was way better, but in terms of like the aesthetics and like the different ways that they shoot, like I think Pack is like one of, if not the most like Lillard-like in the way he gets his shots off, and then just like the utilization of forward momentum and incredibly deep range is like the first and most obvious similarity. Where like Steph, Lillard, probably like the most glaring examples of utilizing range as a tool to get shots off consistently and to bend the defense all the way out. And that's certainly what Pack is doing. Like his ability to not only use range but like to create separation for his jumpers like is really wild. Like yeah, this is a switch, but this is a lot of separation, and this is like very deep as well. So Pack, despite not being like the quickest guy, north south, like obviously what separates him from Lillard is that Lillard was like an amazing slashing athlete, and Pack seems to struggle to create a lot of separation off the dribble on most of his drives. The ability to create like back and forth separation on these jumpers with the backwards momentum is absolutely insane. Again, like he has absolutely no regard for contest, which is just so important as like a small guard, a small guard shooter. Like just simple like high drop pick and roll, and this defender is like very close. His hand is right there, but because of Pack's high quick release, he's able to get these shots over guys. And again, I think of that as a pretty core trait of Lillard's game. It's not only the range, but the ability to shoot in like very tight spaces, to like get the ball off in traffic with contests from in front, from behind, to control his body in midair. And that is a trait of Pax that is really exciting to me. Just a very snappy off-ball player, someone who is able to go and sell the curl pin down and into the floppy, quick little jab step back three. Like it is beautiful to watch this guy shoot. And the way that like he stutters when he's able to set up his move with such suddenness off of the ball is very impressive. It is like veteran level stuff from a guy who is a college shooter. Again, like it's so tough to guard him. Just like give him three screeners, give him this floppy look, and let him pick. There is absolutely no guarding someone who, one, like you have to stay attached for so long, and because Pat can like take this all the way out like multiple feet beyond the line and still like be very comfortable shooting this ball. So it's not only his ability to get separation off the ball, but his ability to do it from range. It just like adds another dimension that like a lot of movement shooters I feel like don't exhibit the kind of range that Pac does. The guys like Duncan and like Clay Robin and Clay Thompson, obviously, like JJ Redick, but those are like the special ones. And again, even like working off ball, like this pin down, Cam, he's able to bump into this little mid range. I do love Pac's general intermediate game. His separation isn't amazing, but like his ability to use little craft and tricks like this. Like look how far he's leaning into Sohan's body here. Like he is like leaning hard into him. This is a very convincing downhill stance, and then he takes a hard dribble and creates space to his right with the right foot like 1-2 to the left. It is like very advanced stuff, and again is somewhat reminiscent of guys like Damian Lillard who can run off of little screens at the top of the key and pull up instantly with a contest in their face, and again is able to shake defenders off ball with their suddenness and their speed to get wide open shots. And again, the very similar shake off ball shot from deep. Like these are very impressive traits. And again, Pac is like not someone who can really create separation because he's 6 foot and just very pretty limited as a bursty athlete. But he does have like some suddenness to his handle as well. and he's like awesome from this floater range as well. Like you see, like he obviously slows down here to set up for this floater, but oftentimes like even when he gets a step, I didn't like pull any clips of this, but even when he gets a step, like the defender will sit on his back and contest stuff. But like his touch seems to be so wild that he's like able to very consistently like hit these little floaters, and like his shooting numbers are truly crazy. Like this last season, like 85, almost 85 from the line, 13 threes a game, 43%, 42% on 50 made long twos. Like this is really, really impressive. If we, if we remove this guy and, if we filter by free throw, long, just free throw and threes, because the long two will like filter too many guys out. We get a list of like some of the best small guard shooters. Like we just talked about Lillard, Trey. I know Steph is on this list, but for some reason he's not. Like Jimmer, obviously, Bones Highland, and even the guys who are like lower level prospects, just failed for other reasons. And Pack might be, is probably more towards these guys than these guys, I would say, just because even like at this GOAT level of shooter, one, like Pack being 6 feet and not 6'2" or 6'3" is really, really harmful just for his defense, his slashing. And like a lot of these guys, like Lillard had his slashing, Trey had his incredible passing, like Hield is bigger, Bones Highland is bigger, and has real burst. And I think my favorite approximate for this dude is Cam Thomas, who has had some good moments with the Nets. Again, being able to use his just like ridiculous range to get shots off despite limited ability to get separation. And Cam is like a bit bigger than Nigel Pack, but like I think I think Cam probably plays a little smaller than he is just because of his lack of vertical explosion and his inability to like get to the rim. So I think he plays a little smaller as a shot maker. But like the shot making is wild. Like his ability to hit from deep, basically, basically from anywhere, is very impressive. Like this is, and like I'm missing a clip here. And Cam's ability to like pull from like wild mid-range shots, like the crazy touch he has, even when he isn't able to separate, is again very much like Nigel Pack. And again, if we go look at Cam's numbers, they are like quite similar. Had a monster long 2 game. Like you see a lot of these guys like Lillard, Trey, honestly, like Hield didn't really have like mid-range games like that, but Cam had a monstrous mid-range shot making game, just like Nigel Pack. Again, amazing free throw shooter. Cam was definitely better from free throws, but fewer threes. Like again, like similar amazing shooting profile from a guy who is like a small guard shot maker, and that is, I think, the path for Nigel Pack. Again, I'm very interested to see what he does next year. I think he's at Miami now. But if he continues this level of shooting, especially over like a 3 or 4 year career, like he is going to be worth a pick, because he's not just a shooter. Like the scoring craft and the suddenness is very real. Even if the limitations are very extreme, I do think there's a path for him to be like an NBA contributor. So I'm not sure if he's even going to be 2023 draft, but nonetheless, I'm excited to watch.